Hey now guys, it's me David, aka Knockout 21. I know it's been a while. Um I don't know what to say. It's I've been kicking back a little bit too much. And well, it's time to continue this series I started 2 years ago. And yeah, I'm not gonna make any excuses. I've been lagging it a little bit. But anyway, let me continue. Uh, Now, Doom on Xbox 360 would probably be my most favorite port of Doom on the console. How I came across this game was actually, well, pretty impulsive. For one, I have to state when this game was announced, I was cheering for joy. It was announced in X06. It was pretty much an Xbox event that took place in 2006 that demonstrated upcoming games for that year. In it, some guy, his name escapes me for the moment, says XBLA yada yada yada, and that Doom was going to be released on a platform. As a Doom fan, I was basically geeking out. All throughout the trailer, I was shaking in joy. Every time 2 seconds of Doom footage was shown. After a few more words saying how awesome XBLA is, the guy said Doom would be released in a few hours. Now think about that. There was an announcement, and the actual release of the game was in a few hours. That was like, that must be world breaking or whatever, world record breaking or whatever. Never before in the history of games has a game been announced and released on the same day. Or maybe there has, I don't know. Now, I barely handled the news. Doom, one of my all-time favorite games, was going to be released on XBLA in a matter of hours. It made me borderline insane. Never before have I heard a game being released the same day it was being announced. It made me run out of my house to buy an Xbox points card. When I came back, I discovered that I didn't have to wait. Doom was already up on XBLA. I could not put down the redemption code fast enough. I was so excited. When I was finally done, I immediately downloaded it, and just like that, I began to rush through it. And in a matter of hours, I beat the game. Every episode, every level, I passed it all. You could say I was disappointed with the single player somewhat. However, I don't fault the game. It's Doom in all its glory. The disappointment was mostly due at my part. At that point, I must have played Doom like a bajillion times. So you could say that I was pretty much bored at that point. Its saving grace was its multiplayer. Doom was playable via Xbox Live with up to 4 players. Game modes included Deathmatch and Co-op. This was in fact the first time I've ever played Doom in multiplayer. So getting to experience Doom with others was like a breath of fresh air. Though not every game was steady though. Actually, most games had a major lag. The only time I had any lag-free connections was during one-on-one matches. I wish they would have done a better job with the netcode. Still, I had lots of fun. Nowadays though, nobody seems to be playing online anymore. Recently, I actually waited an entire hour hoping someone would play just so I could capture some footage. All I got was, well, nothing. Which is why I'm glad they included same game multiplayer. To think the only thing you need to play multiplayer on Doom now is a bunch of friends, an Xbox, and 4 controllers. Graphically, it's on par with the PC, but that's to be expected. We're talking about a 13-year-old game at that point. There was no way they could have messed this up. It displays at 1080p, so it's much more sharper than a PC original. However, it is in a 4:3 screen, which means there is no widescreen. Now personally, I don't have a problem with this. However, some might find an issue. I remember I remember reading somewhere around the time of its release that forcing Doom to go widescreen caused graphical glitches and such. So in the end, it was probably a good call to leave it in a standard screen. On the plus side though, it's actually easier to see distant enemies due to the increased resolution. The music basically sound the same as the PC original, except from what I noticed, it does sound a little slower. Though there's nothing wrong with that, I do wish they would have included a PS1 soundtrack or at least a remix of sorts. Luckily, you can use the Xbox Media Player to substitute the game's OST with one of your choosing. Controls are responsive and use the current FPS scheme with the left analog stick to move and the right to look around. The button setup might take some time to get used to since you cannot change the button layout, but that is hardly an issue. I would have to say that this was the most fun I had with Doom on a console. Overall, I highly recommend this title for anyone that hasn't experienced this game yet. For only $4.99, you're definitely getting more bang for your buck. This version, as well as Doom 2, is included on Doom 3 BFG Edition. It deserves an A.
And thank you guys for watching my video. Please rate, comment, subscribe. And before I go ahead and say goodbye, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys that the next video will be on the PlayStation 3. It's gonna be the last video. I'm debating whether or not I should do Doom 2 on the Game Boy Advance, but it might be a little while before I go ahead and do that. Anyway, like always, thank you guys, and have a good one.